Welcome to There's No Place Like Home, the radio show coming to you on WRXB 1590 AM and Pinellas County Connection TV. This program is presented to you as an opportunity to hear information that can help you fulfill the dream of owning your very own home. We also share information about upcoming special events and programs to help you enjoy the good life in Pinellas County, as well as other items of interest. The sponsor of this program is the Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County, which offers the First-Time Homebuyers Program, your key to home ownership, helping people in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties make their dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Frank Bowman, alongside Jane Merlin, your host for today's show. Good morning, Jane. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Frank. You know, this is one of our most interesting shows, I think, because we're talking about something that affects all of us as people who live in Pinellas County. Tax season, of course, is what I'm talking about. And matter of fact, we feel it's so important. We have two segments that we do about this show to get people really prepared for tax season. And coming up in just a few moments will be Eddie Birch. He's the Communications and Outreach Coordinator with the Juvenile Welfare Board. But before we start that discussion, Frank, I know that you have an update from our sponsor, the Housing Finance Authority.
That's right, Jane. The Housing Finance Authority, or the HFA as we like to call them, is offering the First-Time Homebuyers Program for individuals in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties who have never owned a home, have not owned a home in the last 3 years, or who are veterans. The HFA offers a low rate on its 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, and if you need a little help with down payment and closing costs, they can help you with that too with the Home Key Second Mortgage available in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties. To get your key to home ownership, call 727-464-8210 or visit the website at www.pinellascounty.org/community/HFA. Jane?
Thank you, Frank. And, you know, we should also mention that we've got a veterans housing initiative for folks, too, called Proud Ground Pinellas. And for those active military personnel or veterans here in Pinellas County that may be looking for a home, we've got a great opportunity, some beautiful homes for sale that have been completely renovated, and we've got a few that are still for sale. We're in process of renovating other homes, and they'll be listed as they're available, but that's really a great program,
It's
too.
a wonderful program. The homes have been completely renovated, as you say. A lot of them have had energy updates and things, and they're very affordable. Some great opportunities for veterans or active duty personnel to become a homeowner.
Yep. So we'll give some information on how folks can find out about that through the Housing Finance Authority's website a little bit later on.
Right.
But right now, it's my pleasure to welcome our very special guest, Eddie Birch. He's the Communications and Outreach Coordinator with the Juvenile Welfare Board, and he works with the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership, which we used to know as the Wealth Building Coalition. He's going to speak with us today about a program that could potentially put some money in your pocket, and we'll share some additional tips as we prepare for this year's tax season. Welcome back to There's No Place Like Home, Eddie.
Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Frank. Thanks for having me back again. Always enjoy talking with you.
Oh, and thank you for providing all the great information to help us out during a sometimes stressful time for folks, tax season. Wanted to get right into something that caught my eye recently, and that is that last month you had World Light Middleweight Champion Winky Wright join the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership for a special event. Tell us more about that and what his involvement was.
We were so excited to have Winky Wright as part of our effort this year. I mean, as a championship boxer, Winky knows what it's like when that opening bell rings. And so he joined us at our EITC Earned Income Tax Credit Awareness Day and VITA grand opening. And he rang the opening bell on tax prep season, and our volunteer preparers came out swinging, and we're off to a good start this year.
Well, that's a great tie-in, and I know that he's very involved in the community, and perhaps we'll be looking forward to working with him in the future.
Yeah, hope so.
Very good.
It's good to have him in our corner.
Yeah, I'm not much of a boxing person, so I'm not going to be able to contribute too much to the puns here, but maybe you can, Frank.
I think we'll move on to what
Probably
is
Let's
the
exhausted
do
them already.
it. We've covered them all. So the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, is something that can be very, very important not only to individuals but the community as a whole. So tell us how it impacts the individuals firstly, and then let's talk about the community impact.
Well, yeah, it can be worth up to over $2,000 for a family. So obviously that's a big impact, and the people who qualify for it generally earn less than $50,000. So when you talk about a lump sum of that much money coming in the springtime, it makes a big difference. People are able to get car repairs they need, do work on their homes, just get them through tough times. Maybe if people are out of work, that money can help them get through it. And as a community as a whole, you might assume that, well, people are due this money, it's going to come here. It's going to come here anyway. But only about 80% of the people who qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit actually claim it. So it's not a given that that money is going to come back to the local economy. That's why we work so hard to try to tell people about the Earned Income Tax Credit and get them to claim it, because when you bring that money back to the families in Pinellas County, that's money that is going to be spent in local businesses. It's going to create local jobs. It's going to, in some of the low and moderate income neighborhoods, those businesses there are really going to be kept alive and thriving in large part due to some of this money coming back this time of year.
So it really does kind of keep the wheel of commerce turning
Absolutely.
in the communities that use that. Why do you think that so many people don't get that money back? Do you think there's perhaps a lack of awareness that the program's available?
Maybe, probably a lot of that, and some of the reasons that I've heard are that people maybe that didn't have a lot of tax withheld and don't need to file a tax return because they don't owe, may not realize that they could actually get a lot back. There was a gentleman I met a couple of years ago that, he didn't think he was going to get, he only, I think he said they held $16 back or something. So he didn't file, and then he finally came around to it and got $600 back. So a lot of it's that. Sometimes it's somebody whose situation has changed. Maybe they didn't have any children in the home last year, so they wouldn't have qualified, but now maybe a grandchild has come and they're the caregiver for that grandchild, and now the situation has changed and they might qualify for something that they didn't before. So it's a good idea to just, if you've had any change, or maybe it's a divorce or separation, something like that, if you've had any change in your family situation, to check and see if you are now eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit, because it can make such a big difference.
Yeah, especially for those who maybe, as you said earlier, don't usually pay into income tax, don't think that they would be eligible for this, but in fact they are.
Yes, and it's a refundable credit. It doesn't just get your liability down to zero. If you still have that much credit left, it goes as a credit. You get that money back, which is unique about this credit.
Mm-hmm. And in past years, when we've been promoting or helping you guys to promote this project and program for several years, 80% is a lot higher than it was several years ago. You get an increase of folks every year. How did we do last year, and what kind of dollars were realized through people participating?
Last year at the volunteer income tax assistance sites alone, about 2,800 Pinellas County families or taxpayers filed returns, and they brought back about $4.9 million in total refunds to those taxpayers. So there's almost $5 million right there just through the VITA sites.
Mm-hmm. And as you stated already, that extra $5 million goes into our local economy. So people are not only helping themselves. A lot of people who do get these kinds of returns will be able to actually expend it into the economy and help the businesses in the local community. So it's a terrific program for everybody. You get a lot of support from the private sector in this project, don't you?
Yeah, we do. As Jane mentioned in the intro, I think it was Jane, I don't know, maybe Frank said it, I work with the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership on this, and formerly known as the Wealth Building Coalition. And the PPP is made up of not only not-for-profits and government representatives, but also a lot of people from the for-profit sector. Banks are part of the PPP, and they contribute. They give financial support. Some of our volunteers come from banks, and it's a great private-public partnership that makes this possible.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk to you about the fact that in the news media recently, there's been a lot of coverage about identity theft and tax fraud, and I wondered what y'all's experience has been. Are you seeing those increases currently, or is it kind of calming down for folks?
So far, the good news this year is that I haven't heard a lot of reports of this. It first came to our attention last year when a lot of our site coordinators were saying that we're getting a lot of returns rejected because people have already had that Social Security number, has already had a tax return filed on it, or maybe they had a child who somebody had already filed a return on it, and so they were coming to the VITA sites to file their taxes for free and get the money that they're due, and they're getting the bad news that somebody's already stolen your refund, and that starts a long, probably painful process of working through this, and we refer them to IRS, and they help the taxpayer through this process, but it can take a long time, and so far this year we have not heard that as much, thankfully. Hopefully, as the tax season goes on, the crooks out there, hopefully it doesn't increase as the tax season goes on, because the IRS just started processing returns on January 30th. Mm-hmm. So they haven't had a lot of time to do what they do, and we hope that we don't see it this year like we did last year.
Yeah, the impacts can be devastating for individuals and families who have to go through something like that. So hopefully, as you say, that's declining and not going to be such an issue as it has been in the past. Now, your program actually provides volunteers who prepare the tax returns for individuals, and this is all done for free, which is a phenomenal service.
Great.
How does all that work? How do you get the volunteers, and do you need more volunteers currently?
Well, a lot of the volunteers have been doing it for years. At our locations, we have 12 fixed location sites in Pinellas County for VITA sites, and some of those are neighborhood family centers or other organizations like Daystar or Child's Park YMCA or places that have community programs and have volunteers already, and they also volunteer for VITA. And we also do some recruitment through media and through word of mouth and attract volunteers and help to train them and certify them, because it takes some work to study the tax law and get that basic certification the first time. You can spend 20, 30 hours on that. As the years go on, you've already learned a lot of it, and it goes a little faster, but that first year can be tough. And we do have more volunteers this year, and I do need to say that a big source of volunteers for us is the USF St. Pete College of Business. They have an internship, and the kids put in 75 hours at the VITA sites, and a lot of them come back and volunteer after that. And then Stetson School of Law, we have probably 20 or 30 volunteers from there as well, in addition to our regular community volunteers. And we do have more this year. Unfortunately, the geographic distribution is a little bit different, and we're struggling in our Clearwater, Largo sites, especially Tuesdays from 10 to 2 at the Martin Luther King Jr. Neighborhood Family Center in North Greenwood. We could use some more tax preparers there. The Hispanic Outreach Center, which is right here downtown in Clearwater, on Wednesday nights from 4 to 7, we could use another taxpayer or two. And you don't have to be bilingual to volunteer at the Hispanic Outreach Center. Our site coordinators are, so they can help out with that. Yeah, if anybody's interested, they can call me directly at 727-453-5676, and even email me at eburch@jwbpinellas.org. And we'll be glad to help you get certified and hopefully place you in one of those Clearwater sites. And if you can't do Clearwater and you want to volunteer, we'll help you do St. Petersburg or Tarpon Springs or Safety Harbor as well.
What a great program, though, and some great experience for the students who are doing this, and just such a valuable service to the community for folks that are doing that. And I'm hopeful that some folks listening today will want to pick up the phone or send you an email and let you know that they'd like to help too.
Yeah, it's a great program. And, of course, we're so familiar with this program from the several years that we've helped promote it. I'm not sure we've really told folks that this is an entirely free service. If they sign up to go to one of the centers to have their taxes prepared, there's absolutely no cost. And then these trained volunteers will tell them whether or not they are eligible for earned income tax credit. If people come in and they're not eligible, you still help them with their taxes, correct?
They do have to meet a couple of eligibility requirements to use the VITA service. Regardless of whether or not you're eligible for the earned income tax credit, you have to have adjusted gross income under $51,000. You can't have income from rental properties. Those are the two main things. And beyond that, most people that meet those two criteria are eligible for VITA, and they can come in and get their taxes done for free, even if you don't qualify for the EITC. They are prohibited from taking anything as payment for doing taxes. There's no extra charges for any special credits that you might get. Sometimes those might be some hidden things that you'll get elsewhere, but at VITA, you won't pay anything for the service.
And it's probably a good time to mention that this is a much better service, particularly for low and moderate income people, than a lot of the private preparing companies out there who do take a significant fee. And we have encouraged people to use this service because it's just a lot more affordable. And I would say that the volunteers and the staff are a lot more friendly in terms of finding ways to help people.
Well, I haven't been into any of the for-profits, so I don't know what the service is like there, but I can tell you that sometimes you will have, like I mentioned earlier, there will be, it'll be advertised as free, but then there might be an extra charge for getting their earned income tax credit, and that can be $200-300, and we're talking about low-income families here, and that can make a big difference. And the important thing is to just read the fine print. Right. If you choose to go to one of the other places, just make sure you know what you're going to be charged.
And the VITA sites file electronically too, right? So it's still going to be a rather quick turnaround, I would say, for individuals who are filing. Right.
It's I've heard even though this year we couldn't start until January 30th with the e-files. We were going ahead and preparing them in advance and then putting them in. And I know somebody that had their return in their bank account 2 days after the 30th. So it's it's a really quick turnaround. That's the beauty of modern e-file is that they can get it done so fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, if people decide to come to one of the VITA sites, what's the documentation that people need to be bringing with them to make this easiest? And is there a way for them to check on that list of items before they get there?
Yeah, obviously you need to bring your W-2s, which shows what you've earned throughout the year, your 1099s, which is your interest from your banks. If you paid real estate taxes and mortgage interest, yes. Bring those documents with you. And most people remember to bring that stuff. But the thing that a lot of clients don't automatically bring that we do need to see at a VITA site is your Social Security card. That is a way that we prevent identity theft at our VITA sites, is that you have to present that card itself. And that's an IRS requirement. We partner with the IRS to provide the VITA service. And other than your W-2s and things like that, that Social Security card and picture ID are the main things that you need to bring. And our website is taxes-for-free.com, and on there you can click on a link that tells you what to bring with you. You can also find out about volunteering and where the sites are and what their hours of operation are at that site. And 211, if you don't have access to a computer, 211, just dial 211, and the operators there have all the information as well.
Well, that's an excellent, this program is so important. And we really hope that that extra 20% of folks who haven't been taking advantage of this in the Bay Area, they're listening to the show, or they know somebody who's listening to the show who will tell them about it. Great service. It's free. It's relatively fast. Can people make appointments to come in for preparation, or is it first come, first serve?
Yeah, well, at most of the VITA sites, it is first come, first serve. We do have at the Enoch Davis Center, they do give out numbers, kind of like you would at a deli. You take a number, and they start giving those out as soon as they open in the morning. And the VITA service is offered Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 4. So if you want to go to the Enoch Davis Center, it's a good idea to swing by there in the morning, try to get that number so you can come back in the afternoon and be served. But most of the VITA sites are just walk-in.
And are the sites pretty busy? I mean, if somebody did just kind of walk in, might they have to actually wait for a while before they were able to get assistance?
Yeah, it depends on the time of the tax season you go. February is generally pretty busy. It's going to start tapering off here in a little while, and then it'll pick up again toward the end. So there is a little bit of a lull in the middle. Some sites are busier than others, and different times of day. It's just it kind of ebbs and flows.
Are there any new components to the program this year that we need to tell folks about?
Something that we call it the Mobile VITA team. It's kind of an outgrowth of something that we have done at the Don Cesar and Tradewinds in the past. We have a VITA site that's at the Tampa Bay Beaches Chamber of Commerce, and for a couple of years now, they've gone on site to the Don Cesar, and then last year added the Tradewinds to do taxes for the employees out there, and it's been pretty successful. And we thought, why don't we see if we can spread this around? So this year we've added a couple of other large employers, the city of St. Petersburg and Pinellas County. So actually today, right now as we speak, at the Municipal Services Center in St. Petersburg, and they're doing taxes for St. Petersburg employees. We're going to be at the County Administration Building coming up, and also the 49th Street Justice Center. And we've added the Shepherd Center in Tarpon Springs as a mobile site visit, and that's going to be March 8th. The Shepherd Center, they have a thrift store there. They have a food pantry, so there are a lot of families, low, moderate income, that come through there and get services, and we hope that we can help them get their taxes done for free this year. And it's something that we're trying to expand this year. We'll see how it goes. So far, it's been off to a great start, and they've helped a lot of people.
What an excellent opportunity for the employees of those organizations, and a great service being provided by the employers. You mentioned possibly expanding that for the future. So, and how would an employer that's listening today add that service for their employees?
They can contact me directly. It's 727-453-5676, or email me at eburch@jwbpinellas.org. I'd love to hear from employers that might be interested in having Mobile VITA come on site to do taxes. So give me a call, shoot me an email, and we'll see if we can set something up for next year.
That's outstanding.
It really is. Do you have any kind of awareness of somebody's individual's personal stories where this program has really, really helped them out?
Yeah, I met a VITA client that's been doing her taxes at the Lillman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center for about 3 years now. Earlier this tax season, she's a single mother of two, and she's been to the paid preparer route before, and said they charged $400 to get her taxes done. She's trying to provide for her family, and found the Lillman service, and goes and gets her taxes done for free there now. And one of the interesting thing that she likes to do with her refund is that she pays her rent in advance as far as she can with that refund. So that's several months right there. That's one necessity that she doesn't have to worry about. She knows that the roof over her head is going to be there for a while because of the earned income tax credit, and the fact that she didn't have to pay a few $100s to get that.
That's a great story, and that's somebody who's actually working hard to improve their own situation. A lot of people could take that money and go out and be frivolous with it, but she's certainly doing something that's probably of the utmost importance for her and her family.
And that's what you really I think that maybe a misconception is that a lot of people are taking this money and they're going out and they're buying a big screen TV, and maybe some people do, but a lot of people, they need this money to get clothes for their kids, to fix a car so they can get to work and back, repairs on the homes. I mean, there are people that are putting off some very important things, and this money comes through and it helps them do that and get by.
And some people might be using it towards some savings to, come up with a down payment to buy a home.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes.
And I would imagine that particularly in the areas of some of the family centers and those locations, you probably have a lot of additional resource information that you can provide individuals, maybe on some financial assistance, budgeting classes, things along those lines.
Yeah, we always we like to help people not just get the money back, but help it stretch further. So we work with the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership. We work with a lot of financial educators on things like credit repair, budgeting, home buying, foreclosure avoidance, all sorts of things like that. And we can connect people with those services through the VITA program.
And those services are also provided at no cost.
Yes, those are just about any provider of financial education does those free of charge. Yeah.
And I think that's really an important point to make, is the fact that if somebody listening is having any kind of a credit challenge, there are many organizations out there, nonprofit entities, that can provide assistance to you at no cost. So if you're already having financial trouble, credit trouble, you should not have to pay somebody to help you with that. There's programs available. Yeah,
and a good piece of advice is also to call 211. You don't have to, if you've already done your taxes and you don't need to go get them done, you don't have to go to one of our VITA sites to find these things. 211 can help connect you with financial education and all sorts of other services.
Well, we all know and believe that this is a really wonderful, wonderful program. We hope that people listening are taking advantage or know somebody that they could talk about this project to who needs the help. Why don't you recap where folks can go to get information on where the sites are and the schedules and things?
Yeah, the most comprehensive place to get all that information is www.taxes-4-free.com. It's the number 4. So taxes-4-free.com. That has all the sites listed, hours of operation, what to do to volunteer, what to bring with you. We're also the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership is on Facebook now, so you can keep up with us on Facebook. It's just log into Facebook and search for Pinellas Prosperity Partnership, and you'll find us there. And like I mentioned earlier, 211 is also a great source for information about VITA and all sorts of other services in the community.
Well, this has been a wonderful opportunity to share some information with folks that might be able to get some additional money for the hard work that they've done this past year. So thank you, Eddie, so much for joining us again and letting folks know about this very valuable service. And we sure hope that you get some additional volunteers and businesses also that will come to you to participate in the coming months. And if too late for this year, then there's always next year, because we're going to be paying taxes every year. I'm just thinking that.
I think that's here to stay.
Yeah, I think we're.
I don't think any of those fiscal cliffs or anything had that in there, did they?
Exactly.
Their taxes are still part of it. Huh?
We're committed for the long haul on taxes. We are out of time, and again, I want to thank Eddie Birch from the Juvenile Welfare Board and the Pinellas Prosperity Partnership. We also want to thank our folks at the Pinellas Communications Department and, of course, WRXB 1590 AM. And for more information or comments about the show, give us a call at 727-464-8210 or email us at housingfinanceauthority@pinellascounty.org. And remember, you can watch past shows on the website, and you can catch us on YouTube as well. Be sure to join us again next month. I'm Jane Merlin.
And I'm Frank Bowman.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, there's no place like home.